Okay, today we have Mr. Nolan here with us. Nolan Myler. Let's go right on. First time.
Welcome, Barbers Club.
Yes, sir, for sure. Most definitely.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, facts. Uh, I guess we talk about recovery in addition to, I guess, along with barbering, because we try to keep barbering as the topic most of the time. But
Hmm
I guess we could start off as saying like, give make yourself valid, bro. Give yourself your background, what you've been through, whatever.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So even when I tell my story at meetings at rehabs or whatever, I'll do that qualifying bit of like,
Right.
here's why the fuck I deserve to talk to you
Hundred
and why I
percent.
can sit in the same table. You know what I mean? That type
Uh-huh.
of thing. Um. So how far you want me? Because I could go into it of like
You could
progression as a
overview it.
kid or just general.
Yeah, general.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a drug addict. My drug of choice ended up being methamphetamine. Um, I got high pretty much like a drug addict from 13 to 18 when I got sober. It was pretty much the second I put something in my body that changed the way that I felt. I felt like I was it made me feel like I was okay, cool in my skin. I can connect to people. I can talk to girls. I can feel like I'm somebody versus a ghost. That's how
Wow.
I always felt when I was growing up.
Mm.
And so yeah, the progression was pretty fast to where it didn't think too much on it except this feels good. I want to do this all the time as much as possible, and it slowly progressed as the drug progressed to I will do whatever it takes to feel this way
Mm.
as much as possible.
Right.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, so it got real bad freshman year of college. I was kind of locked up in a dorm for weeks. I wasn't going to class. I wasn't eating. I left to go get dope. I left to get butane. That was it. Just stayed in the dorm, and yeah, it got super bad. But I'm here now. I've been sober for I hit a year and 2 days.
Congratulations,
Official,
man.
baby. Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Congratulations,
that's
man.
big time.
Congratulations.
and yeah, so I found this pathway to recovery that I believe is one of the only ones that works for drug addicts and alcoholics like me who have this condition, I guess that was articulated to me as a threefold illness. There's an illness of the body, an illness
Mm.
of the mind, and an illness of the spirit, and I have all these. And so the body is I have an allergy to drugs and alcohol. I put something in my body. I'm affected differently than a normal person. Same shit as a peanut allergy or a strawberry allergy. You put it
Mm.
in your body, you're affected differently than a normal person.
Mm.
And so when I put something in my body, I can't really control what happens after that. That looks like if I plan on having just one, that's never what it looks like. If I plan on having a couple drinks with the friends, I end up blackout drunk. If I plan on
Damn.
getting a single bag, I'm back to the dope man 3 or 4 times in a night. Right?
Mm.
It's just this thing that happens when I put something in my body. I cannot control what I'm gonna do, who I'm gonna hurt. And so this mental piece of it is kind of called the obsession. It's this train of thought that doesn't end. The best way that someone put it to me was he asked me to name something I was obsessed with, and I said girls. I said I'm obsessed with working out. I said he said fuck no. He said
Mm.
you're obsessed with oxygen, right? I put a
Mm.
bag over your head. I start choking you out. You don't think about much except getting that next breath, and
Yeah.
you'll scratch, you'll claw, you'll fucking hit. You might kill somebody to get the bag off your head to take a breath, and that was my experience with drugs and alcohol. Um, yeah, I mean, I've done horrible things. I've robbed family. I've cheated. I've stolen. I've manipulated. To just get that next one, it was a full time job, and it's like you hurt. You know what I mean? I think my mom is the most important person in my entire life. She
Mm.
is a warrior. She's my savior. She's an angel, right?
Mm.
My girlfriend makes fun of me because I'm that mama's boy. Like that really
Yeah.
is the person for me. And yeah, it really did get to that point where mom on her knees begging, crying, don't go back out. And it's just, sorry, mom, it's just business. Like
Yeah.
nothing, there's no, I don't have will in the matter, right? I need it like I need a breath of air. And then so I have a body that can't handle drugs and alcohol. I have a mind that tells me I can and that I need it.
Mm.
It's a duality, right? And then the spiritual piece of it, this hole in my heart, I guess you could say, um, and I've found through experience when I got high for the first time, when I drank for the first time, did a line for the first time, all that, that hole is filled adequately with drugs and alcohol. And I feel okay. I can connect. I have a spiritual experience when I get high. I can connect with people. I can be here, be present, be in my own body. And so, working these 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, finding this connection with what I believe to be a higher power. And when I try not to say the word God because it's stigmatizing. If I say God, people often think of their God or the God they had growing up or whatever, and that's not what this is. It's when you come to the program, it's a God of your understanding, whatever you want that to be, whether that's the son, a fallen loved one, or whatever you want it to be. There's a power that's greater than me. So through working these 12 steps, have built this relationship with a power. I've done this mental dive into all the resentments that I have, everything that I'm scared of, all the people that I've hurt. I've made the amends. I've paid the money back. I'm in the process of paying still money back because I owe a lot of money to a lot of people. But yeah, I've made amends to the people I've hurt, to the relationships that I've burned, all these people that I've kind of tornadoed through during the process of me in active addiction. And so yeah, it's a process, man, and working through these 12 steps, my obsession has been removed as a result of building this relationship with this power that I choose to call God, that is not your God, nor is it anyone's God. It's my God. But this this illness, the part of it that stays forever is this allergy, right? Just because I don't like to use the word recovered because I'm forever going to be like this, but because I've done all this work and I don't have that leech, that vulture, whatever in my brain telling me these things and trying to trick me into forgetting what happened the last 100 times I got high, that I should do it again.
Yeah.
I'm still, through experience, because I've had time sober. If I put something in my body right now at almost a year sober, all bets are off. All bets are off.
From
Everything
zero.
right. It's this allergy doesn't go away, right? Just because my mind has been fixed, my body is still my body. And yeah, so yeah, I've been sober a year. I have a sponsor that knows he's my sponsor. He has a sponsor. I sponsor other men. I do a lot of speaking and detoxes and rehabs, and I spread the message that was spread to me free of charge, man. So that's the deal.
Dope, yeah, for sure. You just cleared all this. I don't really ask. uh, a lot. One question I was gonna ask was, do you still struggle? But you say you kind of.
So it's I just use the term alcoholism. My personal experience with alcohol looks like it leads me back to the drug that I want to do. That's not everyone's experience. I know people in the rooms that drink alcohol like I smoke methamphetamine, right? And that's their thing. A lot of people have one thing, whether that's shooting dope, whether that's cocaine, whether that's whatever. And my one thing wasn't alcohol, but I've had experiences of little bits of time sober where I'll get it in my head that alcohol was never my problem, right? I could probably take a drink, and within a week I'm lighting a torch. And what happened? I don't know. This is, you know what I mean? This is my condition, right? So with this broad term of alcoholism, I don't suffer from the alcohol piece of this anymore. My body is, my mind is clear. It's out of my system, and I've done all this work with the 12 steps to kind of clear my mind and clear the pathway to the power that I pray to. But this ism of the peace, I still got that. I still got fucked up thoughts. There's something in me that's trying to take me back, and that shows up a lot differently now. But it's small lies, bro. It's showing up shitty. It's not wanting to give. It's like it's different things now, and I think it's a human condition to kind of be selfish and egocentric and whatever. And I think with alcoholics and drug addicts, it's just kind of put on a pedestal or something. Like it's so yeah. I mean, I have these things that I do on a daily basis to fight this thing that's trying to pull me back. And that looks like I have a morning routine. I wake up. I pray. I pray for a lot of things. I ask for all of what I think I know to be set aside in the morning. I ask to be able to connect to the people that I love and to strangers that cross my path. I ask to be of service to anyone that I'm meant to be of service to during that day. I pray for my family, for strangers, and then I'll read a couple pages off of a couple different spiritual books. I'm reading a book on Buddhism right now. I'm reading a book on it's called The Untethered Soul. It's like about who's the author of my thoughts,
Mhm.
and the fact that I can't control what goes on in my head. I read a bunch of different shit, and then I sit down and I meditate, and I get right. It's my understanding that I can't hear or feel my power while doing shit. I have to be silent. I have to be still, and I kind of just have an experience with that power in the morning, and then I return to that power at night. I write an inventory of everything I did during the day. Where was I resentful? Where was I selfish? Where was I afraid? Was I kind and loving towards all? Did I leave something out that I haven't talked about with somebody? So it's a daily thing. I have 3 home groups, which are basically meetings that I participate in, that I have a service position in, whether that's picking cigarette butts up, whether that's doing the H&I, which is going to the rehabs and speaking, whether that's whatever. So I'm stuck in the middle of 3 different meetings. I have this sponsor family. We're all interconnected through 2 dudes who've sponsored dudes, and it's a call about 70 individuals that got sober from 2 dudes.
That's it.
And so yeah, it's a daily thing, and it's none of it is a chore, man. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the struggle is apparent, but it's like, I don't know. I've learned through going through this with another man. Like I just live with these principles now, and it's practice, and I'm practicing for the hope of perfection, and perfection will never be reached. So I'll practice for the rest of my life.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that's just being a good human being in general, though. You know,
Mhm.
like anybody should live by the principles that you wake up every day and
Yeah.
do. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. And my fucking ego, the way that this shows up now, a lot of different ways, but I'll stare at somebody that's cut me off in traffic, that's being a dickhead, whatever, and I'll be like, you should have worked the steps, bro.
Nah,
Like,
for
that's
real though.
my-
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's
Because I know
my-
when I was going through this
Yes,
stuff,
bro.
I was the best me when I was going through
Yeah.
the stuff that I was going through. You know.
Yeah.
That you look at this experience as like you could look at it as a disadvantage, but it's also an extreme advantage, bro. You know.
Yeah,
I look at it as an advantage.
I'm grateful now. We were having this talk with a couple of my buddies, and it was some like 60 Minutes or some old people show. They were talking about zapping. They could brain zap. They could brain zap alcoholics and addicts, and they wouldn't be alcoholics and addicts anymore. And we were talking about would I do that?
Yeah. That's a good ass question.
I'm in a crazy position now where I don't think I would do that.
I don't think so either.
Everything in my life has come from this program, from the men I've met in the program.
Right.
My house, I live with sponsee brothers. My girlfriend wouldn't have kept her if I didn't work these steps. My job, I work in treatment. Like everything that I have, the clothes on my back, is because of this thing. And it's also, drugs or not, man. My internal condition is to be a shitty person.
Right.
And so without this work that I do on a daily basis, that's what I'm going to revert back to. So I don't. It really is a catalyst to grow and to change when you're cracked open by these experiences and these traumatic things.
It's crazy because you look at people as they're the worst of the worst when they're on the drug, and then when they get off of it, you need something that everybody needs, something to actually, like a higher power or whatever, to look at and to live by and stuff like that. And some of the best people I know are people that are reformed, change addicts and stuff like that. You know, come from being the worst to one of the best people. I think that's dope.
It's a cool thing. And we make jokes about, like, my grand sponsors a car salesman, and there's a dude in real estate, and like these are crackheads, right? With grown man ass professional jobs.
Yeah.
But they do them alcoholically. They can't stop working. They got to make the money. They got to be great at their job. And it's like, there are ways to funnel this.
Yeah, 100%.
To be healthy about it. But yeah, sometimes I am grateful for all this that has happened to me, because what's grown out of it, it's wild.
You wouldn't be the man you are today.
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's this saying, every time that I feel like I'm being buried alive, right, I'm being planted to grow. Every time that I feel like I'm in this darkness of a tomb, right, it's the darkness of the womb, I'm being reborn. So it's like all of this just being beaten down again and again by this disease that I have. It's been a catalyst for so much growth and realization and change. And now I can use that. It's my asset to take 100%. Men through the steps and have an experience. And they have the same experience I had.
Most definitely.
So it's a trip, bro.
You one of the only people that is younger than me that I look up to. You know what I'm saying? I think that's dope.
That's
because
real. That's a crazy thing
for
to
sure.
hear.
You're not supposed to be looking down. You know what I'm saying? But maybe what's it called? How can we relate this to barbering? I think it could tie into barbering a lot, because I've been through similar things. I'm not gonna sit here. I fight with saying I'm an addict. You know what I'm saying? I struggle with that because I don't want to give up the control or whatever. You know, but I have been through experiences and stuff like that. Similar, you've helped me through those a lot, whatever. But thank you. Should have said what it was. But I think a lot of people deal with this stuff, and a lot of people don't know where to go to get the help and stuff like that. So, as being a barber, I could be a real big. Me and Jay was talking about it earlier. Be a resource for a lot of these clients that are struggling. Go out and drink 5-6 days a week, but they won't admit it though. You know what I'm saying? They won't admit that they're struggling with addiction or anything like that. So,
and it's such a shame thing of thinking that it's a willpower thing of like, man, if I wanted enough, I would stop. Like, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My really mom, bro, the person that I love the most in the world, just business, it don't matter.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of parts in the big book, which is like our text that we work the steps through.
It's the Bible, ain't it?
Yeah, it's the Bible to the alcoholics. But it says like I've lost the power of choice in the matter. Like it is no longer a luxury. It's alcohol and drugs cease to be a luxury. It's a necessity, and I need. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think even just educating, there's a lot of people out there that might not know what it means to be an addict. And if you're hearing it or listening to it and you think I have those tendencies of when I put something in my body, I can't control it, or when I stop, I can't stay stopped. I have to keep going. That might be you, but it's also for the moms, for the sisters, for the brothers of like, damn, they couldn't stop for me. It's like, it's not what it's about.
And that thing bring you down too. Like I've stopped doing substances or for a period of time, and I've been working towards my best me. You know what I'm saying? With all that other stuff, you can't work towards your best you. It's a distraction, and there's no realistic ending to that. You know, like it's like it's a cap on it when you out with alcohol. You know, like my homie might be killing it, but you could be killing it a lot more if you're not waking up hungover every day. You know,
it's like it's this human condition to know, and it's just heightened for me as an addict and alcoholic. Like I want to feel better, and I know something that makes me feel better. Yeah. It's a human condition to grab that, and so it takes and it takes a lot of work to be able to that, you know what I mean, to understand, okay, this burns shit down, and to stop that, and then going through this and having almost a year, like it really is the shit that you have to work for and wait for and be patient for is so much better
instant
than
gratification,
the instant manufactured feeling.
No, it's there.
But yeah, it really is everywhere. And
but it do work though for the time being, for sure. I mean, shit, I don't mean that.
No, no. It's like, and that's the thing, bro. I think there's a lot of fucking people who want to sound good in meetings, and they'll say like, well, my best day, or I mean, my worst day sober is better than my best day high.
Lying,
it's like,
bro,
it's not drugs true. Are good.
Yes.
You wouldn't. It's like you wouldn't have done them if they weren't good. Exactly. Men and women drink essentially because they like the effect produced by alcohol.
Simple,
we smoke because we like to smoke.
Simple.
It's like
it's just like the repercussions.
Yeah, the reality of it is that's not the only thing that happens.
There's the other stuff that goes on once you take that substance. You know, 3-4 hours later after you didn't smash the car or some random stuff that happened.
Money wise, you know.
You didn't spend all of the money. Damn, I didn't want to do all of that. You know what I mean? Like,
How about for your perspective? Because you don't deal. You know, you can do one drink and stop. You know what I'm saying? Like you can. You know.
Well, I can drink, go to sleep. But from you know, tying it back to barbering,
right?
I've had clients who have dealt with, have been in recovery, and one thing that I get from them is a self-empowerment aspect where they are always working on improving themselves, and from that I get a lot of books, get recommended a lot of different books. You know, it's not the books that folks use in recovery, but it may be another book that talks about principles of life, or another book that talk about self-empowerment. And we share these books and we have these conversations that's inspiring and helpful to me, that has nothing to do with just like being in recovery or a substance abuser, but just everyday life. Because even though a person may not abuse substance, you can still be walking through life like as a zombie, not being your best self, not doing
it's like a dry drunk. You know what I'm saying?
That's what they call it, a dry drunk, something like that.
I mean,
if we talk a substance, if I were to get sober, but it's exactly what you're saying. But that dry drunk, if I've had times where I got sober and that's all I did. I just got sober, and I went to meetings and thought that I would get what these people got by just sitting there and didn't
Right.
do anything for it, and so I'm just miserable, right?
And
I'm
I
without
think,
the thing that brings me peace.
and I think on a
Might as well just stay high.
Yeah, that's
I think on a daily basis, people should be striving to be their
Yeah.
best selves,
100%,
regardless. So
yeah.
some of the
Yeah.
things that it may have taken recovery to get you to start
Yeah.
practicing these things, but these are the things that people should practice. Well, I feel like
Oh yeah.
that
Yeah.
people should practice generally to become a better
Yeah.
person. Just
Period.
period.
Facts,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
For
And I
sure.
I
And
think
yeah,
that's one
that does
thing.
happen with people. Like, you don't need the catalyst to be drugs, right? If it's a traumatic event, if it's whatever, like the pain is a catalyst. You know, to suffer is to grow,
But
and
that's why they
that's
have
really
more
what
than just
happens.
they got gambling, they
They
got a
have
lot of
everything,
stuff,
and it's funny. Like, people think the 12 steps is like this is all a drug and get off the drugs program. It's
Yeah.
like, no, the first step is the only step that mentions drugs. The rest is
Mm,
about living life.
mm.
And so, yeah, my girlfriend is in EDA, Eating Disorder Anonymous. She works the same steps I do.
I believe, yeah.
And
I
it's like,
mean,
this is a life thing,
Mhm.
and it's not addicts and alcoholics are. It's not an exclusive thing that we get to do because we're so fucked up.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
no, this is a human. Like, I'm working on my human
Right,
condition, and you
right,
can too.
Mhm.
But
right.
even speak to the clients I know are diverse, and it's like, this affects everybody. It's an equal disease, right? There are
Mm.
rich people, there are poor people, different ethnicities, different religions, different, like, this touches everybody. So have you seen
Mm.
that in your experience of just, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter?
yeah. I have. I've had a couple clients who have expressed to me that it was a particular substance or something that they can clearly see that it was hindering them. And I've had clients who were recovering addicts, and that gave me someone to be able to reference them to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can say, hey man, look, let me talk to, because one of the things here at Barbers Club, would we part of our values, we strive to be resources for people.
Right.
So that's when someone comes in and say that they are a recovering addict, that becomes a resource for us,
Mm-hmm.
because you have been through a process that other people may not have been able to start yet,
Yeah.
and
Or
you
even
get
have access to.
access
Yeah.
to, and you give us someone to be able to point them
Yeah.
to. And the beauty of it is, it doesn't matter what situation you come into the barbershop and stuff like that. You have value. You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean? You really have a lot of value. If you were depressed and deal with mental health issues and you've been able to recover, you have a lot of value here, because now we can point somebody who hasn't recovered from mental health issues to you. You right?
Facts.
Yeah.
So it's been I don't want to say good, like
It's
him
good though.
well,
I
good
think it's
that,
good though.
yeah.
Going through that experience is good because it benefits somebody else, the next person. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole
And
principle of.
that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
None of it is we don't get paid for doing none of this
Yeah.
shit. Like, I have recovered because somebody took the time out of their fucking day to meet with me once a week for months
Yeah.
for me to get this thing. So who am I to deprive somebody else of the experience once
Big
I've
facts,
had it?
bro.
And
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, even I've been getting cut from Dylan for
A little minute, huh?
a little
Yeah.
minute, yeah. But
For
even
sure.
like just this space of barbering I think what comes out of it, it's a natural therapeutic safe space where people end up just kind of confiding. I think that's been
100%.
my experience.
Yeah.
I just like end up sitting in the chair and I'm like, I want to talk about some shit.
Yeah, we
You
chopping
know
it
what I
up,
mean?
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, this really is, and it can be that space where,
Yeah.
like, if nobody listens, the barber gonna listen. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I
that's,
have to,
yeah.
bro. I'm getting paid
Yeah,
to, dog. I
yeah.
better
It's
open my
like,
ear.
And I watched one of the clips on the podcast, and it was like, "Do you think a barber's a therapist?" And
Yeah.
you're like, "Hi, kid."
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, it just happens. It's a natural thing, and especially I think because they don't got to stare at you in the face, they kind of just start talking. You
Facts.
know what
It's
I mean?
easier too when you're not just
Yeah.
for sure.
And I don't get a haircut often or even by anybody else, but I see how easy it is when you sitting down to just start talking.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? Sit there in silence? Though?
Yeah,
Like,
sit there silent.
Open up to me, bro.
Yeah.
Come on. Open up to me, dog, for sure.
Yeah. Nah, but
Do you think your outlook on life is? You said that really?
I
Your
mean,
outlook on life has definitely changed, right?
yeah, it's yeah, it touches every aspect of life. It's really not a drugs and alcohol thing for me anymore. It's a life thing. And it's also not just about being of service to people that struggle with addiction. Like, goal and why I do what I do every day is to be a person that resembles the power that I believe in, and it's and my power, the God that I pray to. I don't know what it looks like. I don't, you know what I mean. I don't have a defined idea. I know that it's kind, it's loving, it's forgiving, it's merciful, it's all these things. So how can I reflect that to anybody that crosses my path?
Mm-hmm.
And that's bro. It's like where I grew up. I grew up in North Jersey, and the vibe there is anybody in your face you buck up to,
Yeah,
and
fuck
it's
you.
just fuck you want.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And yeah, it's just this complete. It's flipped on its head of like everybody I come into contact with. What can I do? How can I be of service?
Yeah.
How can I show this light that's in my life?
Most
And
definitely,
that's it's a crazy thing.
Me and Jay was talking today, just like about unity, like as
Yeah.
itself. You know, human beings together is the most powerful thing
It's connection.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And everybody tries to like separate. You know, like even with the NAAA shit, you know, they try to separate a little.
Polarize
Yeah,
and fucking
exactly.
yeah.
But that a goal in the shop. You know, like I got clients that come from different backgrounds. You got clients that come from different backgrounds. You know, like if we come together as one, it's like you'll have a mechanic, you'll have a
A
doctor,
server,
you
a
know,
fucking
sir, all that stuff,
anything.
you
Yeah.
know, all resources, and that's strong because it's definitely lost. Everybody want to do it on their own, stuff like that. I got it on my own, tatted on my arm, bro. Get this shit the fuck off me, bro. I didn't get it on my own, bro. I use resources to get that here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how.
Yeah, and it's places like this. Like, I really think I was thinking about it driving here. Of like, I'm doing a podcast at a barbershop. Like, that's kind of weird, but it's really not. These spaces like this that bring people together with a common something, common something to focus on. But what comes after that is just connection, bro.
Exactly,
It's
dog.
just connection.
Yeah.
And that's one of the pieces to this recovery thing. Is this fellowship?
Yeah.
How can I make?
You couldn't have done this on my own, on
No,
your own. I couldn't
no,
have gotten
no,
without you,
no.
bro. You know what I'm
It's
saying? Like, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like I remember when I first started coming to meetings, there were people that I hated because they smiled and they hugged each other, and I wanted it so bad, and I didn't know how to get it, and
Yeah.
I hated them. I would just sit in the back and mind my own business and leave early and not talk to anybody. And yeah, what's changed, man? I go to meetings and people hug me and they want to see what's up, and they say my name and they ask me to sponsor this dude that they met, and you know what I mean, all these things, and it's like that feeds me just as much as God does, is this human connection. You know what I mean? And the fact that me and these other men and women who have struggled with the same thing, like we bond over this suffering, but it's a human condition to suffer, and I think that brings people together in whatever facet it does.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You've been
And this
suffering
is a
without a bad
place.
haircut for the longest
Oh,
time,
bro.
bro.
You coming, damn, you got me right. It's
Exactly,
like,
dog.
that's
Yeah.
what's up.
Now we all fresh
Yeah.
together as
Yeah.
one.
I think even I want to correlate, like there's a trust that I have to have in my sponsor. He has to have a life that I want, and I got to be able to know that he did certain things to get there, and that he's going to lead me in the right place and have me do the same thing. So it's like, talk about this business of trust with a client. How do you deal with a client for the first time that, you know what I mean? Because I've gotten some bad haircuts,
Right.
bro.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
it's like people will almost be like PTSD in this
Mm,
chair right now,
100%.
like, you gonna fuck me up. Like,
Yeah,
how would you deal with that? How would you deal with building trust?
I think the conversation, the social connection is definitely
Yeah.
the biggest thing. Like, you could give anybody could give a good haircut, but if you sitting there in the chair silent the whole time, I wouldn't even go back to do it. You know,
Yeah.
I'd rather go get a. I'm not saying I'm serving mid cuts at all, but I'm just but like if you come in my chair, 60% of the haircut is me trying to connect with you on a mental level more than just like my clippers to your head. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that's the best way you could really win somebody over to come to you or whatever. You know.
It's almost, how can I treat you like a person?
Exactly, dog.
Not
You're
just a
not
cut
a
that's
number,
paying me.
dog, at
Yeah.
all. Yeah. Exactly.
Far as me, I try to have them to show me a picture where we both see the same thing. You know what I mean? And just have a conversation where, okay, you say you want this particular hairstyle that you're showing me. Do you know that this is different on his head than it is on yours?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then from there, I think, again, I'm not a customer per se, but from what I hear, clients can tell when a barber knows what he's doing by how he's moving. And I think you just move with confidence and you know what you're doing. I think that's how, I make sure a customer is comfortable. And I'm not afraid to turn them to the mirror. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I'm a little sketchy on what they may want versus based on what they told me and what I know, I don't hesitate to keep them at some point kind of like looking in the mirror, pointing in the mirror. I'm always giving you an opportunity to
Tell
say,
me where
hey
I'm in the
man,
wrong. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
I this, that, and the third. And
Mhm.
then I do different things like that just to check with them throughout
Yeah.
the haircut process.
Yeah.
And then at the end, of course, they have an opportunity to explain, anything or make any suggestions and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
And you
You
can
know,
relate that back to what's it called, the recovery shit too. Like you not if you sitting in the back of the room looking for a sponsor, you're not gonna go up to the dude that looks like he's not happy. You know what I mean? He's been in the
Yeah.
room for 2-3
Yeah.
years. You know, like you going to
Or
the dude.
yeah, it's those movements, like what you
Mm-hmm.
said. I move like if you're a good barber, you can tell they move fluidly and
Yeah.
they look like they're confident in what they do. So if
Exactly.
I'm gonna
Same with
go up to
you.
somebody that's also in the corner, fucking curled up, it's like that's
We
not what
not
I
growing.
want, bro.
We not
Or
growing together.
no.
and
It's like
I'm stuck in that position
I
right
would
now.
think like another thing is like when clients come in, I address them immediately. And if they come back, I work on knowing their names of their book. I look at the schedule to see what their names are.
Hmm.
Even if I don't remember you, I know what your name is.
Mhm.
So when you come in, I call your name in some fashion, like, hey, Mike, or hey, so and so. I think when you're in recovery and you have been there, you a sponsor or you have some experience, some skin in the game, you should know that the person who's coming in is going to be a
Skittish.
little reluctant. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? They're going to be nervous.
Yeah.
So a part of the service that you give them is to acknowledge that person in the corner or
Yeah.
that person that's not
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
They give
Just
you an
be
opportunity in recovery, right?
Yeah, and
They
I
say
mean,
like raise
yeah,
your
it's like
hand or
anybody
whatever.
30,
Yeah.
but even it's funny because not people don't raise their hand because they're scared and they're
Yeah, I
yeah,
scared,
that's
didn't.
but
not
it's
you
I
like,
want.
didn't.
Yeah, that's like you in church
yeah,
and they be like, "Come on up to the altar." It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah, it's like, no,
no.
I'm okay.
But you
But
still
yeah,
know
it's
though.
like,
You
yeah,
still know.
if I'm in the position that I'm in, and the coolest part about that is I've been that dude, right? So
Mhm.
I can
Mm-hmm.
know, and it's my job now to on the other side of this to go up to that motherfucker. Yo,
Hell
what's up?
yeah, dog. Most
You got
definitely.
anybody's number in here? You
For
want my
sure.
number? We can chop it up.
Most
Like,
definitely.
yeah, even just like yeah, this business of I don't sponsor everybody the same, right? My sponsor took
Mm.
me through a body of work in the way that he did, and I'm going to implement some of those into what I do with other men. But not everybody's the same. Not everybody's gone through the same shit, and so
Yeah.
I have to cater this to the human, the individual, not just you know what I mean. And exactly what you just said, like, yo, I want this, and it's like he's black and you're white.
Yeah.
That doesn't
You
work.
can't get
It's like
that.
you
Yeah.
can't, you know what I mean. I have to cater this to
Right.
the individual, bro.
That's
Right.
dope.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so, dude, yeah, I'm thinking about because I have big ringlet curls, big hair, and I
Yeah.
just got buzzed. And I remember
Uh-huh.
even he's been cutting my hair for a long time,
Right.
and even I was like, I want to buzz, but I guess I didn't describe it enough, and he
Mm-hmm.
left a little on the top, and he
Yeah.
was like, he turns me around this good, and I was like, no, I want to chop. He was
Yeah.
like, okay, but even that preface of like, I just got to make sure I
Yeah.
don't want to
100%,
step
dog.
over
Yeah.
Most definitely. Yeah.
and ruin
That
that
little
because you
picture you
gotta.
sent me had a little bit
Uh
longer
huh.
though.
Yeah.
I was trying to get
Yeah, because I
exactly what
mean,
you wanted.
you gotta feed this relationship, right?
Right.
And if I
Yeah.
want you to trust me and to know what I can do, it's like I gotta build this
Hundred
trust. So
percent,
yeah,
dog. Most definitely, bro.
yeah.
I think the basis of barbering and building a trust for a person is one to be able to give them a good service and product. That's kind of for me that's the basics. The second is to give them a good experience, and though the combination of the two is what creates a return
Mhm.
client or
Oh yeah.
customer, stuff like that. um I don't think that. I mean, I know that there are some people that come just for the relationships and stuff like that, but you know, and again, I can't speak on recovery or the process, but I would imagine that being someone who, when someone new comes in, you acknowledge them and you show, you just be a friendly face
Mhm.
to them. I'm pretty sure that helps a lot to
Oh yeah.
get to for them to return
Yeah.
and to be able
Yeah.
to
And it comes from that, like even just you get your hair cut, somebody does something, and you think about, okay, I like that. gonna do it when I cut hair. I'm sure you have those experiences. So
Mm.
it's like I just do what was done for me. It's really not a complicated deal.
Yeah.
Like when I was skittish and didn't want to raise my hand or whatever, people came up to me, they chopped it up. Even though I didn't want to fucking talk, they made me talk because they knew that's what was needed for me to get in and buy in and all that. And so yeah, I think it would be a selfish action to not return that favor once I'm on the other side of this.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. So, and it's just, y'all can just give me y'all opinion or whatever. When someone is in the recovery stages and they're doing well, is it better for them to stay out of the environment that they was in before recovery, or that's a personal thing that it's not about your environment, it's about you?
It's a good question. And I get this question from a lot of people that come in like, I'll never go to parties anymore, concerts. Like my life's gonna suck, bro. And it's just that's not the deal. And so it's funny. I've tried a lot of things before I tried the 12 steps to try to fix what was going on in me. That looks like getting a new girl on my side, moving states from Jersey to Georgia,
Yeah.
getting a new job, dropping the job. You know what I mean? Moving all these puzzle pieces around, trying to figure out, let me change up the drug where the drug is the problem. I think the liquor's the problem. I'll just drink beer and seltzers, bro. It's like, no. But now in this position that I'm in, having worked the 12 steps, I believe that I've had this spiritual change, this psychic change in my head. I am a free man, right? I'm under no assumption that I'll ever be able to put something in my body that resembles the form of a drug or a drink, but I'm a free man and my obsession has left me, right? So I've in this period of sobriety, bro, I've gone to parties, I've gone to concerts, I am free and present. And actually have no problem inside of me watching you get fucked up. Rock on, bro. You can do that. You know what I mean? Like you can do that, bro. Go get fucking cool.
No, I don't
like
want
that.
to go get
Like, but that's not that's not me though, and
right.
that's not the condition that I have. And so it's people I think it's important to go to sober living, to go to rehab. You need to be removed from this to do any
1000%.
type of work in the beginning. But once you've gone through this process, like I'm a free man and I can walk where I please. Because if I had to guard myself forever, you know what I mean, and stay locked in the house just so I don't drink or use drugs, I wouldn't. I'd rather just get high.
I was just kicking it with a homie that I used to use with a lot, and we I don't know. Yeah, maybe he not. Yeah. But I'm where I need to be
Right.
at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's crazy because all we used to do, that was our friendship. Was use it together. It wasn't nothing around or nothing more to it. So it was cool to be able to be around him and to help influence him. That there's more to this life shit than basically what y'all just said.
Yeah.
And it's key to show. And so if I'm not acting in a certain type of way that looks attractive to somebody that's coming in, like what the fuck are they here for? They're not going to want what I have if it's not attractive to them. So it's also my job to make this look attractive to people. Like this, like I remember in these early talks that we had, it's like you got to break out of that space of that cycle of like, okay, I'm physically addicted to something. But after that, it's like, does this person have a life that I want? And if I was just locked up in the house every day saying don't drink, don't use, that's not attractive, right? I'm a free man and I do things that I love. I have people that love me, right? I have a job that I love. I have a girlfriend that I love. That's attractive to somebody with nothing that can't stop getting high. So
most definitely,
it's important. And it's like how can I attract a customer in? Because I know if I know my ability as a barber, right? I know I'll do a good job. How can I get him in my chair? That's it. Like, and that's what I think was fun. How can I get him sitting down? I know what I've been through, and I know the way that my sponsor family takes people through the steps. I know he'll have an experience if he does the work. How can I get him in the chair?
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
Most definitely, though.
Yeah.
What would you I guess to sum it up, the person has to be ready on their own, right?
Yeah.
100%.
It's nothing you can tell somebody. It has to be a point where they just it finally clicks. Like I need to do this in order to get my stuff together. So I guess it's almost no advice you can give somebody.
Yeah.
You just
not at all, though. Yeah.
just pretty much,
Figure it out, buddy.
And so, well, the funny thing is, like, that's almost exactly what I say to somebody that wants to keep getting high.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just the first step that we work in these 12 steps is I have conceded to the fact that I'm powerless over drugs and alcohol, and my life has become unmanageable. And conceded is defined as like I let an idea in begrudgingly or whatever. It says that on Google, and it's like that means I don't want it to be true, but it is true. And so I have to acknowledge that I am powerless, and that is without power at all. And so to get to that point for me, I had to burn a lot of shit down. I had to fuck a lot of people over, and I had to try, like I was talking about, moving these puzzle pieces around, changing up the drugs, changing up the people, changing up the fucking state, right? And I had to come to the understanding that, okay, I don't know. You get cracked open to accept a new idea, and that's kind of why I say the set aside prayer in the morning of set aside everything that I think I know. I believe that everything that I think I know is a noose around my neck that's tying up. I can't have a new experience if I think that I know, and that's assumptions about people. That's anything. And so, yeah, it is. It's like if I work with a dude and he's talking about, man, I think I can just drink. I think I can, unless he's shooting fentanyl and he has a risk of going back out and dying. What I'm supposed to do is say, go try. I'll be here. Let me know how it goes. And so if he can go back out and drink normally, rock on. He might not be like me, but if he can, I'm waiting for him. But he's not going to do what's required of him in the steps unless he's convinced that there's no other way. You know what I mean?
And again, to further the point that I was making earlier, that mindset is something that I work on even though I'm not in any kind of recovery. It's like when you say, thinking that I know stuff is a noose around my neck. Like I'm operating like that as we speak. I'm calling people, trying to make moves. Yeah, we was talking about me calling people earlier today.
Right.
Whether I totally failed on the phone call or not. You know what I mean? But I'm calling you because I don't know what I don't know, and I'm not gonna let me not know be a hindrance to me because you know what I mean. Like right now, I'm assuming that I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm calling everybody and I'm trying everything to make it happen. So again, to the point I was making earlier, the principles that I see that a lot of people in recovery live by and practice and share with me when they're in my barber chair are daily principles that anybody can use to make themselves better, whether they are in some kind of recovery situation or not.
We could almost title this video "Self-Improvement." It don't gotta be on those.
It really and
it don't gotta be. Oh, we're sitting with a recovering addict.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's funny. It's like what I said before of like, would I take away my alcoholism or my drug addiction? No, because I wouldn't have done what I did if I wasn't forced to do so. And so that is the general consensus. And so I would say that you're an anomaly at the fact that you do these things and you have no reason other than I want to grow as a person, as a human. You know what I mean? But that's not like a lot of people. You said zombie, like people zombie walk till they die.
This
you know
was
what I mean?
sped up. We gotta sped, or I should say you more, because I didn't go through that whole program. But my experience led me to be where his thinking is and stuff like that. But it's almost like a fast track to self-improvement. Like it's not almost like that. It is like that. So it's almost a blessing.
It's the quickest way. Because I'm a fucking liability as a drug addict, right? How can I get this man in a completely different mind state as quick as possible? That's the 12 steps. Right. Yeah. Putting on fentanyl, fuck his life up. He might come to me and then we'll get some shit done.
100%. Oh, yeah. That'll change a person's mindset for sure.
But yeah, I mean, you can't. So in the big book, it talks about it, but that was written in 1939, right? There wasn't no fentanyl. There was, I don't even know. I'm sure there was heroin, but it was probably hard to get. So
stepped on all
it
that.
was it was easy to be like, go drink, go try that out. But I have to be very careful about like, you know what I mean? Because if I am a fentanyl user, the fentanyl tolerance builds up really fast. So if I go back out and snort the same line that I snorted when I came in, when my tolerance was, I'm fucking
shit
dead.
2-3 days ago.
Dead, bro.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And so
that's harder to say that now.
Yeah, it's like I can't do, because this
you
this
gotta
business,
modify
bro.
it to this time.
Yeah, this business of the only places that I end up is becoming a spiritual man, sitting in a jail or a prison, or dead. That's what's going on. That's what this is, and that's the life that I live. And so this fentanyl it's killing folks
100%.
fast.
Yeah.
And now they got Yeah, it's like you look at Kensington and Philly, you look at San Francisco, you look
Scary
like these
Row, all
places
that, bro.
are fucking
Duh.
burning down,
Yeah.
and they're putting some
Well,
shit.
let's decriminalize it though.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. I mean, we could talk about that. Of
Oh my
like,
gosh, we could. Yeah.
I'm a drug addict that uses drugs. Fuck that, bro.
Fuck
I
that
think
completely. Dog.
because
I use drugs still to this day.
any barrier is important to stray at least one person away from doing so.
Yes.
What I think is crazy is the fact that in Georgia today, my roommate works in harm reduction. In Georgia today, he cannot ship needles to some place that needs them, clean needles, so people aren't fucking shooting up AIDS needles and sharing them. He can't do that legally. And I think that's crazy. I think it would be crazy to legalize heroin and fentanyl, but I think it's crazy that I can't at least make sure that you don't like get AIDS. You know what I mean? With a dirty needle.
I saw something yesterday on the news that said Oregon's trying to recriminalize drugs.
Yeah, right. Because they're like, damn, we fucked up.
That didn't work, buddy. Yeah, that didn't work at all.
Yeah. I mean, I think they thought like, oh, we can't stop them. We might as well like
in a
have
perfect
them
world
not
that would
sit
work.
in jail. Yeah, but yeah, it's like that's not just all that does is oh shit, okay, I can shoot up on the street. Yeah. It's like that's the only,
and it seemed like it would give the drug dealers a open reign to come in and
San Francisco is an open air drug market right now.
Oh yeah,
period.
Yeah, and this shit is scary, man. It's like an apocalypse there.
Duh.
It's pretty wild. Yeah, and they decided to do all the laws on petty thefts, and you can steal up to $900, and it's a ticket.
And I didn't go take advantage of that all day,
no,
bro.
Yeah,
like, come on, bro.
That's not the move. But it's something that people have been trying for a long. Like, what can I do to make sure people don't have to burn their lives down? Like, I am under this strict assumption that you have to. Yeah. You have to hurt some people to do what I did. Like, there's a lot of shit in the step process. Like, I wouldn't be paying this money back to people that I've scammed and robbed if I wasn't convinced that if I didn't, I'd go get high again. I am under that assumption. If I don't do these steps how they're outlined to me, I will go get high again. And so I'm doing them. But if I wasn't, I wouldn't do the things that I need to do. And so you need to experience a certain amount of like ego death inside to be able to kind of understand you need to do all the pieces of this puzzle to get what I got. Yeah. So, but it's a hard, it's a hard thing of like, how can we stop all these people from getting high and ruining their lives? It's like,
they got to figure it out.
You can't, bro.
Yeah,
you can't.
You can't.
They'll find a way, man. They always do.
100%.
Yeah. And that's even the piece of like, yeah, you go to a good meeting and there are bad meetings and good meetings. There's good cake and bad cake, bro. There's bad meetings, but you go to a good meeting, there's going to be some people making money, people with good jobs. And that's because I really do think, I don't know why it is this way, but most addicts and alcoholics are smart people because it takes a smart person to fuck everybody in my life up. You know what I mean?
To fuck everybody in my life up and to
manipulate.
Do it. Opposite side. You know what I'm saying? And to admit how and to be humble enough to be able to admit that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah. But it is, it's just this process, but it's I wouldn't have it any other way because I can sit in a meeting in a room with people that have been through what I've been through. I can connect on the basis of that pain, and we can now live this life that's incomprehensible, man. It's
the appreciation level for you now is probably insane. You know, you wake up and get a little coffee, dog. You're like, hell yeah, dog.
It's wild, man. It's I always use this analogy to people when I go speak at a rehab or a detox of like, the life that I live is something you cannot imagine because it was something I couldn't imagine. It's a color I had never seen before. 100%. I didn't know a world where I wasn't constantly thinking about how to get the next one. I didn't know a world where people genuinely loved me for Nolan, not for what I could get them or what I had.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's like this, like, why would I change? It's like I just had to trust the process because at a point it's like I'm going to suck on a pistol or I'm going to try this process of the 12 steps. That's the point that I came to. I'm going to kill myself, but before I do so, I'm going to try this thing. I tried it. Guess what? My life changed.
Yeah, I'm glad you made that choice. Yeah, that's a way better choice.
Yeah. If I want to be a good person versus I want to feel like I'm a good person and I'm helping in that moment, it's like
it's almost selfish a little bit.
It's selfish that I want to feel like I've helped you in this moment now, so I'll spot you at 20. It's like, but do I know what you're going to do with the 20? Yeah. That's not good. So it's you have to distance, and so it's a fucked up. It's a business of it hurts. I have friends back home who just they're not ready. They're still getting high, and it's like I'm here when you're ready for me, but until then,
step back.
Let me know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's just I have nothing that you're ready to have. You know what I mean. You're not ready to do what I did, so I know that there's nothing I can do. So I ain't spotting that 20 because I won't be a part of that. You know what I mean? I won't be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I ask those questions because I know people who, have some addictions or, are working through their addictions. Um, and it it's tough for me as well to be able to have a barrier to be like, because I struggle with like, all right, this person then started to get themselves together. I can, we might be able to rock again together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, well, have they had enough recovery for them for
Right,
us to
right,
rock
yeah.
around? You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? Am
yeah.
I gonna really give them another opportunity to get comfortable and to revert back to the ways before that? You know what I'm saying? So I don't that be putting me in a
When do you put
position.
that trust in? You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
know. Some
Yeah,
some
yeah.
of it I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? My better judgment just tells me maybe I should just keep a barrier between us that and just let this person or let these people go through their process on their own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, but when do you know you can start?
So
When's your mom start? Okay, he
yeah,
taking it serious. You know what I'm
I
saying?
like that question.
Yeah.
It's yeah, in this when you're what fucking I remember I was like 60 days sober and it's like mom no longer puts her purse on the counter when I go see her. Like she puts it upstairs because she knows what I do. And
Pisses
so
you
it's
off
like,
though a
but
little
yeah,
bit.
it's like I'm 60. Mom, you know I'm 60 days sober. You know what I mean? But it's like, nah, bro. If I've burned these bridges and I've been fucking robbing and stealing and cheating and lying for years, it's like, and I expect these people because I'm sober for 60 days to change the way that they know how to act around me. No,
Dealt
it's
with
not
that.
how it works. And so it was a process of building this trust back, but it was also like I do things today that person wouldn't have done. I'm driving hours to go speak at rehabs with people I don't know. I'm not getting paid. I'm not none of that. I do it because I love it. I've made amends to all that. I'm paying the money back, right? I've sat down with my mom and tell her exactly where I've hurt her. I asked her how that made her feel. I asked her how I could mend that, how I could make that better. Like there's certain things that you do that
It's actions more than
remembers
words.
the
Yeah.
remembers the relationship. Yeah, it is. It's like if I come home, Mom, I'm getting sober. It's like you said that a lot.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
Sick. Let me know. It's like yeah, it's just one of those things. Yeah, my actions have
so
shown
really,
that
so
I'm in
really, so
this.
really, as a person, you have to really focus on yourself and really work on becoming the best person for you, irregardless to what anybody else
Yeah.
think. And you kind of have to separate yourself. It may be better for you to separate yourself from other people in a good way,
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
avoiding hanging around other people, but separate your mind, your
Well,
mentality from other people to say, hey, you're my mom, but I'm gonna separate from you. So
until I'm
yeah,
better.
And you'll see the reflection too. You
yeah,
know, you will eventually.
I'm
You
gonna
know.
separate from expecting you to trust me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna separate myself from expecting you to even want to be around me until I get, like
Because I got to show you that I trust me. You know,
yeah,
myself.
right,
Period. You
Yeah,
right.
know.
well, I like to think it's this ego thing that's in these addicts and alcoholics, and it's in me of like I want to be the director of everything. You're not acting how I want you to act. You need to tighten up. It's like
Mm,
no, this is my mother, and she's been through what she's been through, and she's processed it in a way that she needs to process. And so the fact that I expect her to act a certain type of way because I'm 60 days sober and I'm doing the thing, it's
Ignorant as
no,
hell.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I am not God, and just because I've fucking stayed away from drugs and alcohol or done whatever I've done to do that for 60, 90, even 3 months, whatever. It's like, no, it's not up to me when people decide to take me back. It's not. And
mm,
there are people that won't. I've made approaches to make amends to certain people that say, don't fucking text me again.
mm,
I've done enough harm in that person's life where they don't want to speak to me. And I
right,
just have to accept that because
yeah,
it's not about me. Like this amends process it's about remembering and it's about building people's faith back into humanity of I'm paying the money back so you know just one person I'm better I'm remembering this shit but
mm,
some people I've done enough harm to them where they're not willing to speak to me and I have to be okay with that because it's not up to me I can't you know what I
mm,
mean you should want to hear me it's like it's not up to me
Yeah.
I hurt you
mm,
in a level that I may not even understand you know what
right,
I mean and so
right,
it's not up to me to decide when like you should be ready to hear me you should be
right.
ready to be around me it's not up to me.
Do you think that was you? You know, like, do you think? Do you like? I struggle with like it's hard for me to take accountability for something when I knew I was high. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
you.
It's
I mean, I know I was me, but at the end of the day, the substance was the reason why
Oh, yeah.
my morals wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, I experienced that. It took me a while to get to the point, and I got to it in talking to people and praying about it and meditating about it. Of I don't inside myself want to pay this money back. I'm paying the money back for one of my amends where I scammed 27 people in a fake ID scam, where I pretty much said, okay, send me the money, I'll get all these fake IDs, and then everybody sent me the money, and I said, UPS snagged it. You know what I mean? And I have all this money, right? And so my selfish, egotistical mind is saying, now that I have all this money that I've worked for, that's my money, right? They don't need it, or they don't, that's, you know what I mean? No, this is their money in my fucking pocket right now. I stole it at some point, and I have to be willing to take accountability.
So everything
it's
was
like,
you.
It was me, and I know what you're saying, and it's
Yeah.
like, in some capacity, I feel like when I tell my story that I'm talking about almost a different person,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I am
How
so
much you
different,
have
but
changed? 180.
it roots me in the fact that I could always go back there. It's my job to clean up my side of the street.
Word,
I need to make these amends. I need to pay the money
Most
back.
definitely.
But yeah, it is trippy of like, even I don't even remember doing that. I know I did it because I saw it in my Venmo history, but I don't even remember doing it. I don't know where the money went. You know what I mean? It was probably gone in 3 days. But yeah, it's just one of those, like, I have to take accountability at the fact that Nolan in his body took this shit, and I'm gonna pay it back.
Most definitely.
Yeah. But it's yeah, it's, some of it's hard, and you have to have that fellowship, that support, that because I get delusional still today. We talked about, what do you struggle with today? It's like, I have a delusional mind that wants to fucking kill me and take me back out. And so I'll get in the space of like, they don't need that money, they don't deserve that, like, they'll be all right. It was 50 a person, they'll be all right. You know what I mean? And that's a killer mentality of like, I need to do what was presented to me in these steps, and part of that is making amends for the things that I've done. So I just have to. I have to do it. But yeah, I'll get in real weird spaces where I think I don't need to do certain things, and usually I'll get knocked down and feel it, or somebody will say something to me like, "Hey, don't you have financial amends? Why are you getting tattoos? Why you know what I mean? That's not your money in your pocket right now." Yeah, it's a cool deal, but you have to be around people that are walking the same path, or there's certain things you probably won't do. You know what I mean? And it's, how free do I want to be is the question that I ask myself all
That's
the time.
raw, bro.
And so like, I could not pay the money back. I'd probably be fine. I might stay sober, but how free do I want to be?
Well, thanks for coming, bro.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
man.
appreciate it. Nolan Myler, baby.
Yeah.
What's it called? Self-improvement, right? That's a good title for it. I think maybe a little bit.
Self-improvement, absolutely.
And congrats on the year for
Yeah.
sure, bro.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I
Congrats
do.
to
I
both
just
of
want
y'all.
to spread that message of, there is a place for you. You know what I mean? There's a place in Alcoholics Anonymous. There's a seat that's waiting for you if you're struggling with this.
And I also want to just bring to anybody's attention that's dealing with any kind of substance abuse, that's something that you can, talk to us about, and we'll point you in the right direction. You know what I mean?
100%.
No judgment,
Dylan
nothing
got
like
my
that.
number.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I'm
Point you
saying?
in the right direction.
That's
Absolutely.
a goat right here.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hell yeah. That's what's up.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
That's 5, bro.
Let's go.
Cool. That's what's up. New experience.